Bars.
Live from the WinDC Radio Studio in the shops at Iverson. This is the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com, the WinDC Radio app, Facebook Live and YouTube Live on the WinDC Radio pages, and of course, it's all powered by GoWin.media.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another fantastic edition of Bars, the official Hump Day motivation for the DMV and beyond. I'm your host, AJ Throwback, and let me tell y'all something off the rip. I'm not a morning person, so for me to do this every single week with y'all, you know it's a labor of love, because I woke up so late this morning. So for me to have gotten here when I got here, it is only by the grace of God that I'm here when I'm here. Because me in mornings, I don't do well. I need to get more sleep before the show. But it's just like, I'm just so excited every single day to give y'all the best possible content that I'm up late half the time. But I know I need to do better with my life. So, we'll work it out eventually. But I'm here with y'all, here to bring y'all the best content possible. I appreciate every single last one of y'all who've already shared the post. Shout out my lovely wife, of course. She's the queen of Team Bars. Shout out my cuz bro Darnell. Shout out Ransom Relic, my brothers the Breakout Kings, who are on every Monday, 8 to 10, right here on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media. And my homegirl Marcel, I appreciate all of y'all sharing the post, and everybody who definitely spreads the love. I have to send a very quick and special shout out to somebody that I work with. Tiffany, if you're listening, please tell your mother that I'm about to shout her out. So, I'm telling my coworker about the show and that it's coming up. And, she's always just been just a bright light of support, just a beaming spirit. She's just always so positive. And, I told her about it. And then, I came to her again and she was like, how's the radio show going? I was like, it's going well. So she told me, she was like, God put it on my heart to support your ministry. And it's crazy to me that she referred to it as a ministry, because I know that this is something that God has blessed me with, but I didn't necessarily look at it in that way. But when she referred to it that way, then I started kind of looking at it differently. But next thing you know, probably like a week later, she hands me a check supporting the show, and I wasn't expecting it. It was like, look, I just do this for the love, but it just blessed my heart, blessed my spirit that somebody wanted to look out in that way. And I want everybody to know I appreciate all forms of support. You don't have to give me checks. I mean, checks are cool. But you don't have to give me checks. You know what I'm saying? I just appreciate people who share, who like the post, who watch, who listen, who interact on the Facebook Live. I just appreciate all the support that I get on this show, and I love each and every one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So Miss Valerie Tillett, I truly appreciate that blessing, because it really was a blessing. It really is a blessing. And I just appreciate it. Gotta send a quick shout out, because they always beat their chests when their season comes around. So we all know that we're in the midst of Leo season. Those of us who aren't a part of it, we gotta wait a few more seasons to get to the real king of the seasons. But that's neither here nor there. Pandora knows what I'm talking about over there. Yeah, but right now we in Leo season. I gotta shout out Leo season because my son is a Leo. Young king beat around his chest all day, all night. You know what I'm saying? Gotta let him know who's boss, but still, grooming a young king. So shout out to the Leos out there. Shout out Brother Nate, celebrated birthday Monday, July 23rd. The 7 Deuce 4 brothers, Debo Wayne, and Coach Taylor, also a Breakout Kings. You know what I'm saying? Gotta shout out my brothers. They celebrated birthdays yesterday. Frequent collaborator, my brother, actually Kava King. His birthday is today. So happy birthday, bro. And Naeem Bricks, also my brother, also a frequent collaborator. He celebrates his birthday on Friday, July 27th. So definitely want to give a shout out to all the people celebrating in Leo season. We'll throw some more birthdays out there next week. But for now, we do have a poll going on. Go to our Instagram, Twitter pages. The links are in the bio. And it's an NBA poll for those y'all NBA fans out there. Which team do y'all feel like will benefit more from the Kawhi Leonard, DeMar DeRozan trade? The Raptors or the Spurs? So you got two choices, and you got until 12:30 to vote in the poll. So please, if you haven't done so already, please do that. Right now, we're going to go ahead and get into the music. This is April and Vista, How to Get By. You're listening to the official Hump Day motivation for the DMV and beyond. This is Bars.
Ropes fray when you cut them too strong. Comfort fades when you push for too long. Darkness grows from the smallest of things, from shifty white stairs to soft muted screams. Spent a day with my head in a cloud, fell through the mist and I didn't slow down. If I sit and wait for time to pass by, the time that I spent could alter my life. The ugliest things come in packages grand. I mentioned it once and I'll say it again. If I sit and wait for time to pass by, the time that I spent could alter my life, could alter my life. Oh, 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 oh. All right. If I sit and wait, if I sit and wait, oh, if I sit and wait, 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 oh, if I sit and wait, if I sit and wait.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, this was the one.
Cut time. Cut.
Yeah,
That's right.
If you're an urban contemporary indie artist, then this is your platform. Send us clean versions of your music to balancingactradioshow@gmail.com. That's balancingactradioshow@gmail.com.
I let the truth be told. Yeah, yeah. Truth be told. I let the truth be told. I knew you never really meant me well, so no, I'm not surprised at all. I know you're proud, won't let you see your wrongs. And not for sure I didn't make the call. Now I'm here where you dropped the ball. But guess I'm just the one they love to hate. Oh yeah, the summer's bittersweet, but I enjoy the taste. I needed way more room to grow, appreciate the space. You know they love you when they do what others only say. Yeah, I'm in a good place, I send my condolences. I know I'm dead to you. Pour out a little liquor, don't forget your rosaries. I did what was best for me, the size supposed to be. I couldn't babysit your work, pay the bills and buy the groceries. And somehow I get all the blame. I point the finger back, you frowning at the mirror, hoping for a smile to crack. Look, if I'm guilty, then I'm guilty. Got no pride with that, but I ain't about to hold my breath. Cause I gotta let the truth be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. And it's gonna be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. The truth be told. I let the truth be told. truth be told, and it's gonna truth be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told, and everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. Everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. Everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. Everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. I knew you never really meant me well, so no, I'm not surprised at all. I'm back to the old me. You know the one who didn't care for feelings, yeah. You know the one that used to call a dog. I try to change for y'all, I think it's safe to say that I ain't changed. Cause you on the same. You had the recipe for failure, had to get you out my mix. No better way to say the sample, leave the crabs in the barrel. Nowadays, you a leader if you follow. Look, I ain't never really been the type to borrow, but that's another story. They gon' ride with you today, to throw them stones at your first thing tomorrow. Look, I could be 100, but get all the blame from people without all the facts. You smiling at the mirror, hoping it don't frown back. Look, if I'm guilty, then I'm guilty. Got no problem with that, but I ain't about to hold my breath, cause I gotta let the truth be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told, and it's gonna be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. The truth be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told, and it's gonna be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told, and everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. Everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. Everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. Everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. I was wasting away, stuck in a day, losing time, lost in your way. Way too long that I try to save ya, when the truth is you'll never change. I was wasting away, stuck in a day, losing time, lost in your way. Way too long that I try to save ya, when the truth is your way. I gotta truth be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told, and it's gonna be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. The truth be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told, and it's gonna be told. I let the truth be told. Let the truth be told, and everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. Everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. Everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go. Everybody say they rather know since you like to hear it go. You like to hear it go.
Want to get down with the Bars Revolution? We're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Bars On Air.
It's amazing to me how he thinks I'm stupid.
Crazy Kate on them beats, hey.
Telling me all those lies. I just can't be, won't be another one. All those times I just refuse to be another one. I knew it. I just can't be, won't be another one. I knew it. I just refuse to be another one.
When it all began, I was looking for a friend, then I discovered another you. That look in your eyes caught me by surprise. I'm wondering what's up with you. You told me to trust in you, that I could depend on you. There's nothing you wouldn't do, but that's when I had no clue. Tell me what has changed for you. This love affair I thought was true, but now I'm seeing deceitful sides of you. You told me that you love me, but never showed you care. I just refuse to be another one, begging me to stay when I know there's nothing there. I just can't be, won't be another one. Told me that you love me, but never showed you care. I just can't be, won't be another one, begging me to stay when I know there's nothing there. I just refuse to be another one. You with my soul, gave you complete control. I gave my all to you. Then to turn around to find out everything about you wasn't true. You said I could trust in you, that I should believe in you. How could I be such
Your words never had no truth. Tell me what has changed for you. This love affair I thought was true, but now I'm seeing another side of you. It's true. You told me that you love me, but never showed you care. I just refuse to be another one, begging me to stay when I know there's nothing there. I just can't be, won't be another one. You told me that you love me, but never showed you care. I just can't be, won't be another one, begging me to stay when I know there's nothing there. I just refuse to be another one. You told me that you love me, but never showed you care. I just refuse to be another one, begging me to stay when I know there's nothing there. I just can't be, won't be another one. You told me that you love me, but never showed you care. I just can't be, won't be another one, begging me to stay when I know there's nothing there. There's nothing there, there's nothing there. You told me that you love me, but never showed you care. I just refuse to be another one, begging me to stay when I know there's nothing there. I just can't be, won't be another one. You told me that you love me, but never showed you care. I just can't be, won't be another one, begging me to stay when I know there's nothing there. I just refuse to be another one.
Welcome back to the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Yeah. We're back. Just wanted to shout out the artist that you heard. That was Tia Day with another one. Before that, we had BZ Archibald, huge supporter of the show. So was Tia Day, but huge supporter of the show. Truth be told, hot record right there. And then starting off the set, we had How to Get By April and Vista. And I also wanted to shout out the instrumental that you heard before we even got it started, the homie Armani Jackson. You heard him on our first show. But we didn't have a producer of the week, so I'm just going through a lot of the producers that have sent us stuff. Want to give them shout outs once again. And that is Spirit Talk. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into this right here. But before I do that, I definitely want to make sure to let y'all know, because I want to make sure we shout out all the shows, great shows we have on WinDC right here. So I gotta shout out, since she's in the house, make sure y'all tune in every Saturday, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Pandora's Word Box Show. You know what I'm saying? Great show. One of my favorite shows on the station. So definitely gotta shout her out. So we're going to go ahead and get into this right here.
It's the sports take you want to hear from the self-proclaimed expert who knows absolutely, positively nothing at all. These are the reads from the nosebleeds, only on the Balancing Act Radio Show.
So today, last week we kind of talked about the sports that is like, ain't really feeling it during the summer. So we're going to talk about one of the sports that a lot of us really care about, and that is basketball. And by now, we could talk about the whole thing about Carmelo going to Atlanta for Dennis, I think it's Schroeder. A lot of times, like, he gets Schroeder, but I think his last name is pronounced Schroeder. Anyway, that was a trade. Carmelo, he ended up going to Atlanta. Dennis Schroeder going to OKC, and a part of me feels like OKC got the better end of that trade, because Dennis Schroeder's still pretty young. He's kind of he's a pretty good player. He's been a good player for Atlanta for years, but apparently I guess there was some kind of a falling out with him in Atlanta, and so I guess they felt the need to go ahead and do that swap. So now OKC is off the hook for that huge contract that Carmelo was due. And, he wasn't really worth it. I mean, he was good last year, but he wasn't the Carmelo that a lot of us really came to know, potentially love, those of us who are Carmelo fans. I was been a big fan of his game, even though he doesn't really play much defense. Still a fan of his game. But the real story of this whole trade season, free agency season in the NBA, is the whole thing of Kawhi Leonard. So Kawhi Leonard had been injured since the 2016-2017 playoffs, or 2017 playoffs, when the Spurs actually won I want to say the first game of that series in the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors. But then he got injured on a very dirty play by Zaza Pachulia, and he was out for a while. Then he was poised to come back, but then he suffered a quad bruise injury that effectively took him out for the rest of the season. And, you know, some people criticize the fact that he got supposedly injured. And some people question whether or not the injury was really that legit. And I don't know. It's one of those things. And supposedly, like he got a lot of criticism from his teammates. He got criticism from the Spurs organization. He felt like he wasn't supported. He felt like he was misdiagnosed for his injury. And it ended up being a bad situation. Some reports even had it being a thing whereas Kawhi was being a bit of a diva. And if that's true, it really sends a shot to the heart of somebody like me, who is a huge Kawhi Leonard fan. Before he got injured, Kawhi Leonard was in the conversation as being one of the best players. Top 5, top 3, and some people top 2 players in the NBA. I mean, nobody's better than LeBron. But the fact that you're in the same conversation with LeBron, Kevin Durant, it speaks volumes to your play. He's developed his game so well in terms of his offensive game. He's turned into a really good three-point shooter. He gets to the basket. Great defender. Probably one of the best defenders in the game. And so to even hear that he's dealing with all of this stuff, or he might be the catalyst for a lot of this drama in San Antonio, and it's almost like, bruh, you in San Antonio, how many times do you really hear about drama with that organization? You didn't hear about it with David Robinson. You didn't hear about it with Tim Duncan. You haven't heard about it with Manu Ginobili. You didn't hear about it with Tony Parker. Those are 4 of their most notable players over the past 20 years. So you mean to tell me you having issues with the organization? And I'm not trying to minimize anything he may have gone through, but still it's like, okay, what's really going on? But needless to say, without wasting any more time, I think a lot of people already know the backstory. So he wants to go back home to LA. Either play for the Lakers with LeBron or go to the Clippers. But either way, he wants to go back home. Greg Popovich, the Spurs organization, probably thinking, I don't know if we want to send you to a competitor. We're already kind of like having to fight with the Warriors, the Rockets, the Lakers already. But if we send you to, say, the Lakers, oh, we definitely don't have a shot in the West. I know that's probably what they're thinking, along with a lot of the stuff that they probably went through with Kawhi. So versus sending him where he wants to go, not only do they send him as far away from home as possible, they send him to a totally different country where it's cold, it's snowing like most of the time. So I feel like it was kind of like a D move in a lot of ways. It's like, oh, you want to get traded? You want out of here? Okay, we'll send you to Toronto. So, of course, you think, okay, you send to Toronto. Maybe you dump Kyle Lowry. He's had a downturn in his career. He's just not really as useful as he was at one point of his career as a point guard. Maybe combine that with Jonas Valanciunas. Who knows? No. Toronto gets rid of the guy in their history of having players who don't. One of their biggest complaints is that they can't keep star talent. They couldn't keep Vince Carter. They couldn't keep Tracy McGrady. They couldn't keep Chris Bosh. Like, all of these guys ended up chasing rings elsewhere, or going elsewhere to have a bit more stardom, have a bit more notoriety, instead of staying in Toronto. But yet the one guy who wants to stay there, who wants to play. Pretty much is like Toronto till I die. He is ride or die for the Raptors. They've never had a guy who's been ride or die for them. And you get rid of him. DeMar DeRozan. You dump him. And it's just like, it's a bad move because, one, Kawhi has no interest in, he's said it, he has no interest in playing for Toronto. And supposedly, it's so bad with Kawhi and the whole Toronto thing. When the All-Star game was in Toronto, supposedly, he only came out of his room to play in the All-Star game. He didn't really want to be in the Toronto nightlife. He didn't really want to gel with all of that. That wasn't his shot. That wasn't his deal. And maybe it was Toronto. Maybe it's just Kawhi Leonard. But at the same time, he doesn't want to play there. So you're getting him for 1 year to pretty much get a potentially disgruntled player. And also reportedly, he has even talked about sitting out for the season because he does not want to play in Toronto. He has no desire to play there, you know. And so it's like, all right, Raptors, did y'all really level up and get a player who you may have for 1 year? And that's it. You could try to talk him, you know, who knows? You might have a good situation. You might have a good year. Toronto is in good shape to be a contender in the East now that LeBron is no longer in the East. But you still got to deal with the Celtics, and you still got to deal with the Sixers. And frankly, I feel like maybe the Raptors can get by the Sixers, but I don't feel like they can get by the Celtics, even with Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard definitely is a difference maker if he's the Kawhi Leonard he is before he got injured. But on the flip side of that, so Raptors, y'all don't really get a player who wants to be there, and then you still probably would have to rebuild after that. But on the flip side, DeMar DeRozan, he wanted to stay in Toronto. And you get rid of him, but I feel like he goes to the better situation. He goes to the better team, better organization. He goes to the far better coach. No knock on the Raptors coach, but Greg Popovich, I mean, he's a freaking genius. So he goes to the better coach. He goes to a team with arguably better players, better role players. He gets to play with LaMarcus Aldridge. A lot of people would say that's an upgrade. Now, granted, the Spurs don't necessarily get a better player because DeRozan, though he's good offensively, he's not as good defensively as Kawhi Leonard. So Spurs lose a lot on defense in that sense. But at the same time, Greg Popovich can probably make DeRozan a better player in the long run. But I think we've probably seen as much out of him as we possibly can. He'll add some facets to his game, as a lot of people do as they get older, because they have to be somehow viable to their team. So we'll see how that pans out, but neither player is happy about it. I personally don't like the trade at all for either player or for either team except the Spurs. I think the Spurs, they kind of like, they got the steal for real, because they can have DeRozan for longer. DeRozan will probably stay there for longer. Whereas Kawhi in Toronto, he's probably a one and done if he even plays the season. So, again, we have the poll going on our Instagram and Twitter. You can look in the bio. That's at Bars on Air. Vote in the poll. Which team do you feel like will be better for the Kawhi Leonard, DeMar DeRozan trade? The Raptors or the Spurs? Right now, you know, it's kind of split, but hopefully a couple of votes make it lean in one direction or the other. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Definitely got to shout out Beat Boys Music, Jay Grizz, and Brian Lyrics. That's what you're listening to right now. This is a track called Gold Run. Definitely want to shout out the producers and make sure we show them love on this show, because we are a full support for indie artists, indie music, whether it's people that are rapping, singing, or just, you know, making great instrumentals like these. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into the music. This is Felicia Temple, Perfection Personified, off of her album, greatly titled The Balancing Act. Shameless plug. You're listening to the official Hump Day Motivation of the DMV and beyond. This is Bars.
actually like that take. It's your boy Nimrod, God's gift in the world's future. You are now tuning in to Federal District Radio, where we play the latest and greatest music. Call us up and let us know what you want to hear. First caller, your name and where you're calling from.
This Flip Life, calling from Brooklyn.
What up, Flip Life from Brooklyn? What you want to hear, bro?
I want to hear that new Jules, Patiently Waiting.
Well, here it is, Jules, Patiently Waiting.
Waiting for you to come home. I can't sleep. You've had a long day at work. I know, baby, but I've got something special for you. Wait and see. It's gonna be a very long night. Hope you're ready. Nothing but the best for my king, and he deserves everything. Always there through thick and thin. Can't wait for him
Organizing any type of event to benefit the people in your neighborhood? Then submit it for the Bars Community Calendar. Send all important information, including point of contact, to balancingactradioshow@gmail.com. That's balancingactradioshow@gmail.com.
I just wanna know why they hate me. Cause I don't understand.
I walk with my head held high, cause I know my worth. She talks me down when I'm gone, face to face, no words. Think I wanna be a, no, I don't wanna be a, no. She mugs and whispers with friends when she sees me. But when I approach, she says that it wasn't about me. Can't seem to believe her. No, I don't think I believe her. Oh, no. I know, 'cause there's no competition. Already winning, 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 winning. There's no competition. Already winning, 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 winning. She says that she can take my man if she wants to, but she don't have an effect on him like I do. She can't get any weaker. No man don't wanna keep her. Oh, no. Oh, no. She wanna be friends with me when no one's around. I thought her stop being fake, but I am not down. She can't speak for herself. Always needs somebody else. Oh, no. I know, but there's no competition. Already winning, 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 winning. There's no competition. Already winning, 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 winning. I'm built for myself and I don't need anyone else. Anyone else, anyone else, anyone else. I'm built for myself and I don't need anyone else. Anyone else, anyone else, anyone else. Need money, I got mine. Don't want me living on my own time. Fake friends, nah, I'm fine. Don't need fake hoes on my line. Switch it up, that's what I do. Think you're getting over on me? What is your IQ? Haters will always find you. Always sleeping under your mat. I don't have time to. Can't find me? I'm in the crease. Writing all these verses, analyzing beats. Never checking on IG. Just to see what these haters think of me. We are all roses built from concrete. Never perfect, trying to be the best. See, how you gonna try and demean me when you're cut from the same cloth, baby? Let's be. There's no competition. Already winning, 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 winning. There's no competition. Already winning, 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 winning.
It's time to get back to AJ Throwback and Bars, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Yeah, y'all just heard Bree London already winning. Got to shout out PGMG, Young Gifted, the big homie. Why is my brain freezing? Why is my brain freezing right now? What's Pandora? What's the other brother name? I can't think of his name right now. Young Gifted and J-Zar. I don't know why my brain was freezing for a second. So got to shout out PGMG. They big supporters of the show. You know what I'm saying? That's right, Pigeon Gang. You know what I'm saying? Also, we had Jules before that, Patiently Waiting. And at the top of the set, we had, again, Felicia Temple with Perfection Personified. And definitely want to shout out another one of our great shows right here on WinDC Radio every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Mike's Corner, and let's be clear, they got one of my favorite shows on the station. Always got some great topics. Their live is always jumping. I mean, people are so interactive on that show. And so, you know, I definitely appreciate what they do every Tuesday right here, 6 to 8 p.m. on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app powered by GoWin.media. And let's get into this right here.
From the box office to the boom box to the idiot box.
Hold on, bruh. That makes us idiots.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, it's what's hot in everything entertainment. This is the High Top Fade, only on Bars.
So, as many of y'all know by now, unless you've been living under a rock, Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly put out a new song called I Admit It. Somebody just got out of their seat. Man, no, I don't know if you're going to like me after this. I don't know if you're going to like me. And it is a 19-minute, 11-second salvo, admitting a lot of things while admitting a lot of nothing at the same time. I think the things that probably jumped out to me about this song, one, you know, he talked about the whole thing of him having issues with reading, dyslexia, how those issues may have lent to him kind of getting jerked out of his contract, jerked out of his publishing, and a lot of different things. And on that note, it's like I kind of felt bad for him because it's like, dang, bro, like it's almost kind of like a, I don't know if it's necessarily that bad, but kind of a Dexter Manley situation where it's like, you know, lack of literacy really can't hurt you, especially in a dog-eat-dog world like the music business. I mean, the music business is cutthroat. So the fact that Jive pretty much won't, like, he don't own his masters. He doesn't own his stuff. He doesn't own his publishing. And as much money as R. Kelly made for Jive Records, you would think that he should own his masters. He should own his publishing. But you don't sign that contract, or you don't read it for yourself a lot of times, and you have these people in your corner who's supposed to be in your corner that don't do certain things. It's like, okay. It happens. It happens to the best. You know, no matter whether you write all your own music, produce all your own music, no matter what. You don't cross the T's, dot the I's, slash the Q's. You get jerked, no matter who you are. Not everybody's Jay-Z, unfortunately. And so that was one highlight. Another thing was the whole thing of this gray area that he kind of painted. Like, he had a lyric where he said something about, you know, he's been with older women, he's been with younger women. But this whole thing about being a pedophile is more of a machination of the people's opinions than it is a thing where it's like, okay, yeah, I had sex with young girls. So what? Like, I felt like that was almost like his attitude toward it. We'll get into that in a second. Another thing that now apparently is something that he actually kind of, I don't know, I was told that he actually threw this out there before in another forum, but the whole thing that he admitted that he was molested, that a family member took his virginity, and that he was molested up until the age of 14. Didn't know that piece. And it explains a lot, which I'll get into momentarily. And then probably one of the other highlights is the fact that I felt like he did a lot of PC talk in the song because there was a lot of hiding behind his lawyers. The fact that his lawyers would tell him, don't talk about this, don't talk about that, protect your career, protect your name, yada, 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 yada. And so it's like he hid behind that when it came to all the sexual allegations that were lodged against him. He hid behind it because he has to. I know he has to. A lot of times in settlements, you can't speak about certain situations. And he was very mum is the word when it came to the whole Aaliyah situation. So, again, going over the things that kind of struck a nerve for me in the song. You know, I appreciated a lot of his candor, but you know, and one of the things was the whole thing with him being molested, him a family member taking his virginity. It explains a lot about his behavior, not everything, but it explains a lot about his behavior because a lot of times when you're molested, when you're abused, you end up taking on the personality of your abuser. You either go one or two ways. It's like you become just very reserved within yourself. You don't even engage in that because the thought of doing that to somebody else appalls you because you know what it feels like. Or you go to the other side of it where you become the abuser. You take on that identity. And so if all you know is being trained to take somebody's, you know what I'm saying, take somebody's innocence, take somebody's youth from them, then there's a good chance that you could do the same thing. Not excusing what he did. Not excusing anything that he did, accused of, was on tape doing. And frankly, still doesn't really excuse the whole thing with Aaliyah because there's a lot that goes, there's a lot that's to that Aaliyah situation, rumored to have gone on with that Aaliyah situation. Some of it involving her parents. But no matter what, at the end of the day, explain that to me. Explain the fact that you're a 27-year-old man, she's 15, and you married. It's like, nah, I can't excuse that. I can't. I'm sorry, man. I know that's your man, but I look. Explain that. Explain the tape. Explain the tape. Explain that. Explain Pied Piper. Explain that. Yeah, hey. Yeah. you want to come in? Hey, you want to come in? Come on, Pandora. Come on. Come on. Which mic you want to sit on? You want to sit on plug one? All right.
Oh, man. What's up, y'all? What's up?
That's your
See, us Libras in here, we balancing out some things today in here. It's the balancing act.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Okay, now, you want to talk about Robert. Okay, so I'm going to go to the thing with Aaliyah.
Okay.
Now, you know, in order for him to marry her, at the age of 15, the parents had to give permission.
And that's what I was alluding to. That it had to be a situation, and this was actually what me and my wife were talking about last night. The fact that they had to have given him consent in order for that to happen.
Right.
And the speculation is that actually Jive was the ones who was like, because they had both
you
Aaliyah,
need to do this.
right, and R. Kelly at the same time, and they're like, this don't look good, dog.
I'm not saying what he did was right, but you gotta look at it. It's two sides to every story. And like he said, even in the song, he's like, her father brought her to me. Not talking about Aaliyah, but talking about the other one.
Right.
The father brought her to him, but when it came down to money and you ain't get your way and you wanted more, then that's when everything when it hits the fan.
And see, when I heard that lyric, I want to say it was Kev on stage. He thought the lyric was about Aaliyah. I didn't think the lyric was about Aaliyah. I thought it was another situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But and I mean, now in those situations, you do have to hold those parents accountable because I'm sorry, like as a parent, I'm not giving my 15-year-old daughter
no money. No money can replace that.
To no grown man. Like he a whole
Just think
grown
about
man.
your child's mental before before and after.
Right.
Think about the parents' mental to even want to do something like that.
Right. Yeah. Now that's that. That's that. But Pandora, Pied Piper, explain that. You know the story of the Pied Piper, right?
The urination scene. Right?
No. The story. Think about the story of the Pied Piper. The Pied Piper of Hamlet, the original story.
Oh, the original.
Yes, the original. Come on. He's basically taunting at this point. Why would you say that, dog? Why would you say that? Like, to me, there's a lot of sociopathic behavior.
True.
That R. Kelly engages in. And
like I said, I don't condone what he's doing, but for people, the industry to take it this far as is to not wanting radio to play his music, even though you have to admit the man makes great music.
Yes, I admit that he makes great music, but this is my issue, and this is one of the things I wanted to say. I cannot listen to R. Kelly's music, especially the sexually charged music, without thinking, did you make this? Did you write this?
Was you thinking about one of my little 12-year-old girls out here or something like that?
Exactly.
Right.
Like I can't in good conscience. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of artists out here who have done some nonsense. Right. Biggie being an abuser. Right. Big Pun being an abuser. Yes. James Brown being an abuser. And this is one of the things that I was thinking about. I'm like, I think of the song by Biggie, Me and My Beat. And it's like, now, I can't listen to that song without thinking, Biggie, was you whooping the crap out of Lil' Kim or whooping the crap out of Faith?
Because you was dating both of them at the same time, even while you were married.
Right.
So who was getting the beat down?
And calling them a B while you doing this. I can't listen to that song. Right. So for me, it's not a thing like it's just R. Kelly. It's like so many people that is
like you said, it's not just R. Kelly. So, you know me, I do my research.
Mm-hmm.
What about all these Caucasian celebrities
that's
married and dated underage? They in the magazines. But it's no problem with that. They're not coming after them like that.
I mean, they're
not saying don't watch his movies, don't buy his CD. They're not saying that far as them.
Yeah, they're not doing it as viciously as they've done it with R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? But somebody else brought up, a couple people I know brought up good points. We're going to wrap up this particular segment. Somebody said if R. Kelly had sexually abused white girls, young white girls, this would be a totally different conversation. Or if he admitted,
he would have been doing time already.
Yeah, he'd be doing time. Or if it was young boys,
right,
he'd be doing time right now. Like the community would have been written him off.
They found Michael guilty, but Michael didn't do no time.
That's true. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and sometimes, and I thought about that. Don't get me wrong. I did think about that. I'm like, Michael Jackson escaped that. Yeah.
So now, one lyric in his song where he was talking about his God and y'all was mad because I don't want to serve y'all God made me think about Illuminati. Because I believe in it. I really believe in it. Far as the industry, I believe it's some higher things going on.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it is.
When he was saying that, I was like, maybe all this started because he wouldn't transfer over.
Either that, or he was
there and trying to get out.
Right, he was there.
You either going to die or you going to lose everything.
And the thing is, it's like if you got any kind of dirt that you're doing, they're going to expose it. They're going to expose it. And that's the thing for me. It's like we could bring Illuminati into it. We could have that conversation. We could get conspiracy theorists, whatever. But the bottom line is, if you got dirt and you go against them,
it's out there.
It's out there. So the bottom line is, don't do dirt. It's like, that's cool, but that kind of dirt, that's going to get you blackballed.
Right.
That's going to get you blackballed. Right. Hands down. You know what I'm saying?
But I am still an R. Kelly fan.
I
just think he should have chose over 18 to put down in there, because, Pandora would have went. But, I keep it real with him. When I went to Chicago, yes, I did go visit the mansion, yes. But,
oh, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, boy.
Hey, they don't call me Pandora for nothing, y'all. But,
oh, God.
But, no, seriously, I don't condone what he did if he did it. If he did it, because they're saying it, but court-wise, he haven't been proven guilty for nothing.
Hey, a lot of people been unscathed.
And here in DC, I love my go-go community, but look how many, well, you can't say because they're not going to tell it, but you can imagine how many people go in these clubs and meet a girl that's underage, and she not going to tell it, and you ain't going to ask for no ID because that butt looking nice, and you just trying to get some drinks in and go do whatever y'all going to do. Yeah, and the whole time you don't know that you just slept with a minor.
Yeah, in a lot of those cases, but that tape though, that girl did not look like she was over age or of age. She did not look like she was of age at all. She may have been moving a certain way, but she was not of age. She didn't look like it. That's my thing. You know, I'm a man. I know a girl that's 14 versus a girl that's 20. As soon as they open their mouth.
Yeah, right.
As soon as they open it, you got that's
the body might say a different age, but that mouth and that brain will tell you.
That's when you know. That's the ID.
right. What's your intellect?
Right, exactly.
I feel you then, but
yes, but I appreciate you sitting in and giving your take on this whole thing. You know, because I knew you were R. Kelly
coming for my Robin.
I'm sorry. Look, he's made great music. Great music. He's a genius. He is. But a lot of the geniuses are troubled.
A lot of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah. You know, they scientifically, a lot of geniuses are too smart for their own good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But. I love his music. Don't love what he do, but I love his music.
Well, I appreciate you sitting and I appreciate you being honest. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. Oh no. We appreciate Pandora Love sitting in on the Hot Top Fade. We gonna go ahead and get into this right here.
If somebody tell you he hot, man, you know everybody hot now, man. He fish grease.
That's how we feel about this track right here. This is the Fish Grease Pick of the Week, only on Bars, on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Ain't nobody from outside bringing down the property value. It's these folks shooting each other and selling that crack rock.
Well, how you think the crack rock gets into the country? We don't own any planes. We don't own no ships. But we are not the people who are flying and floating that in here. Why is it there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community?
Why?
Why? They want us to kill ourselves.
Back to sell the dope, back to sell the coke. We back on the block, ain't no cold. Back to rob, niggas back to killing, niggas back to mob, niggas back to hit, niggas back to sell it, back to catch an A, back to babies on the block, catch a strays, back to niggas in the trap, catch a plays. Are you judge? They just try and make a way. Back to handcuffs, we back in the system. Never black man and never black victim. Never good mother turn crack victim. Never local rapper turn rap victim. Never household without a father. Never mother can't let go the bottle. Never daughter teacher, daughter pop. She don't go, she can't even stop. Never uncle teacher, nephew cook it up. We don't give a how they look at us. Kick them out of school, we gon' get a two. When he see it out, we gon' lift it up. Never junkie writing on the yacht. Never young nigga with a gun. He was looking up to the drug, didn't see it out, we gon' have some fun. Nigga, look what you did to my people. Look what you did. Look what you did to my people. Look what you did. You remember young evil. Look what you did to my people. Look what you did to my people. Look what you did. Look what you did to my people. Look what you did. Look what you did to my people. Look what you did. You remember young evil. Look what you did to my people. Look what you did to my people. Look what you did. Look what you did. Another girl wanna be a bad. She a queen, but she thinks she average. She about to do whatever for the bag. Give it son up, yeah, that's some sad shit. Never go with a real. Go to court with them, you gon' squeal. You don't ride with them, you don't kill with them. Better hold your people, go deal with them. Who started the project? They started the project. It always a project. Somewhere we could die at. Somewhere we could slide at. They cannot deny that. Minimum wage all out in the hood. We cannot survive that. Who put the drugs in the hood? Who put the guns in the hood? They put that shit in the hood. Them people, they know what they doing. They want us to keep it going. Generation after generation. They don't want to see a nigga make it. If you make it, they try to take it. Who started the mob? Oh, he went to college trying to do right. He ain't got no job. White man in charge. And he got a daughter, she needs some pampers. He ain't try to rob, he ain't try to slam. He just want a job, but after the interview, nobody answered.
But what if poverty isn't natural? What if it's something that's created, and created by very specific public policies that are very often largely guided by very wealthy people?
Back to selling dope, back to selling coke. We back on the block and back to rob niggas, back to kill it, niggas, back to mob, nigga, back to hit nigga, back to sell it, back to catch an A, back to babies on the block, catch a stray, back to niggas in the trap, catch a plays. Are you judge? They just try and make a white man in charge.
More topics, more segments, more music means more bars after this.
WinDC Radio brings to you the app. Yes, the app is now available on your Google Play and your App Store, on your iPhone or your Android, any of your pads that you might be using. Be it if it's an iPad, iPad mini, or if you have a Samsung Note, doesn't matter what you have, any mobile device, you can get the app so you can listen where you're at to WinDC Radio.
The Shops at Iverson is now undergoing a transformation, creating a mixed-use center where the community can come together to eat, shop, relax, and feel connected. The Shops at Iverson is a 600 KSF mixed-use property consisting of retail and office space now available. Located inside the Beltway on Branch Avenue, Maryland, just minutes from downtown D.C. It's an exciting time at the Shops at Iverson. Several beautiful renovation projects are ongoing, transforming the Shops at Iverson into the new safe community hub. DMV, get ready to enjoy the new food court. Opening late spring, early summer, featuring new restaurants like Chipotle, Quickway Hibachi, Tropical Smoothie, Wingstop, and free Wi-Fi. The Shops at Iverson, the original home of the world-famous Snickerdoodle cookies, is completing several cosmetic improvements to the mall interior, facade, and parking garage. The Shops at Iverson is the new home of Go Win Media, comprised of the DMV's premier internet radio stations, GoGo Radio Live and WinDC Radio. For updates and more details, check out shopiverson.com. That's shopiverson.com.
What's good, everybody? This your boy AJ Throwback, and when I'm plugging away at work and need a shot of energy, I'm tuned into the hot topics, dope music, and wild styles of my brothers and the kings of Monday night, Coach Taylor and Ransom Relic. His Breakout Kings Radio Mondays from 8 to 10 p.m. only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app.
Powered by GoWin.media.
Foreplay the Orgasm Show. I am your host, Hot Toddy, along with the Turn Up team, Miss Lolly and Showtime. Foreplay the Orgasm Show is each and every Tuesday night from 8 to 10, bringing you the sexy slow jams with very adult interactive conversation, only on WinDC Radio.
Plug Radio, breathing life back into radio. Sexy hosts, parties 411, free giveaways, celebrity interviews, the worldwide turn up before the turn up. Every Saturday at 8 to 10 p.m. on the WinDC Radio app. Plug it.
She gon' ride till the wheels fall out. Yeah, we gon' ride till the wheels fall out.
Man, look, y'all already know what time it is. It's your boy, Gerard Street Garvey, and my DJ, Kid Cannon. And when we together, you know what it is. Grind Season Radio, each and every Wednesday from 8 to 10 on WinDC Radio. Don't forget it. Yeah.
We hope you didn't go too far. It's time for the second hour of the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Yeah. We're back for another hour of bars, hosted by your man, AJ Throwback. Definitely want to shout out the homie Blackout. He was our Fish Grease pick of the week before we went to commercial break. That is called The Trap, Wake Up. Hot song right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he's just talking about a lot that we deal with in the black community in that one song. It's just a powerful song. That's a dope brother right there. Like, I really fool with his music anyway, so definitely make sure y'all go to YouTube. He has a video for it. Also, gotta shout out Native Sons from Baltimore. We played one of their songs. Let me see, what was the name of the instrumental? Nobody Knows. That's like one of my favorites. If y'all notice, like, I played a lot of like my favorite tracks from each of these different people who sent me instrumentals before. So definitely want to shout out those brothers. Shout out everybody we're going to be playing, including Sage of Seven Paths, who will be playing his instrumental momentarily. But before we do that, let's intro this.
Very necessary commentary on the social, political, and economic issues stretching across party affiliations and demographic lines. This is the VNC, only on the Balancing Act Radio Show.
Yeah. Y'all know I love that song right there. You know what I mean? If I could play the regular song without getting my video pulled, it'd be great, but can't do that. But anyway, so the main topic of the day being this surge of violence in DC, in the DMV, but mainly DC. Of course, we all know about the tragic shooting death of Ma'Khia Wilson that happened, I think it was last week when it happened. And unfortunately, this has not been a good year when it comes to homicides in DC. 2017, there were, I don't want to say only, any homicide is bad, but 116 homicides in DC in 2017. Now in 2018, that number is up 47% from what it was last year. Already, I think it's at 171 or 172. But either way, we're on pace to see maybe the most amount of homicides the city has seen since 2003, when there were I had the number here. I want to say it was like 264, something like that in 2003. It may have been a little bit lower than that, but 2002, 2003 was like the last period where like we saw close to 300 or over 200. It's been calmer in DC when it's come to homicides, but the fact that we're already at 171, 172, and Ma'Khia Wilson was actually the third child reported shot in DC in the month of July. And unfortunately, she lost her life being outside, minding her business, playing like kids should be able to do in their neighborhood. And to have to worry about, as a parent, I feel like it's really, you can't even call these guys who do things along these lines, you can't call these guys quote unquote gangsters. Because I don't necessarily support murder. I don't necessarily support a lot of things that go on in the gangster life or the street life. You know what I'm saying? But if you going, I'm gonna be blunt, frank about this. If you gonna be involved in that life, and if you got beef with somebody, and if you ain't man enough to square up and shoot the fair ones and fight them, if you gonna hit him, hit him. Don't involve a whole bunch of people that have nothing to do with your beef. The video of these guys shows them getting out of the car and just shooting willy-nilly. Like, if you looking for a specific guy, if this is some kind of retaliation, why is one guy shooting in one direction, another guy shooting in another direction, another guy shooting in another direction? Why is it necessary one for that many hitters? Number one. Number two, get your guy. You injured a bunch of people and killed a 10-year-old girl for nothing. And you probably didn't even hit your target. But that's neither here nor there. For me, the bigger issue is the fact that as a parent who lives in a lot of these dangerous neighborhoods in DC, and there are plenty of hotbed areas, but my whole thing is, you as a parent should not have to, one, bury your child. That's cruel to bury your child before you go. anytime I hear that, I hate how that feels, because I'm a parent, and I would hate to even think about burying my son before I go. So I can only imagine what the parents of Ma'Khia Wilson are thinking or feeling in this situation. So that's one component of it. And a lot of these homicides that are happening in the city are teens. It's predominantly teens that are the homicide victims. And it's sad because it's like a lot of these kids, they don't even get to live their life. They don't even get to experience a lot of the things that we as adults who have survived a lot of this, or who have just made it this far in life, are able to experience. They'll never, I mean, a lot of these parents, they'll never get to see their kids go to prom, graduate from high school, possibly go to college and graduate from college, get into a career that they love, or at least be responsible adults, see what their grooming and their rearing has actually done, how they become productive members of society. They'll never get to see them to get married. They'll never see them have kids. They are robbed of these experiences because somebody wants to be reckless with their behavior. It kind of makes me think of the difference between when you speeding and when you reckless driving. To me, it's almost the same thing. You speed, you might do, say, I don't know, 30 over the speed limit, something crazy like that. Now, granted, that's kind of reckless too, but at the same time, it's different when you speeding and you're controlling your speed than somebody who's reckless and they just driving all over the place, and one wrong move, somebody break, and the next thing you know, it's an accident that causes a whole bunch of nonsense. A lot of times people don't think about the fallout that comes from these types of incidents. And so it got me to thinking about a few other things. One, that's one thing that happened, but I also thought about what happened recently with what happened to Alexander Mosley. I think the name of the store that he owned was District Culture in Southeast. And he was shot and killed, I want to say back in May, right in the block where I used to walk every single night when I used to get off the 32. 2200 block, Savannah Terrace, where he was shot and killed, or where he was found. And it makes me feel so many different ways, because it's like I moved out of that neighborhood in 2014 and I moved to Silver Spring, closer to Burtonsville. But I lived in that community for 7.5 years. I lived in Ward 8 for most of my life. And I never lived in an extremely safe neighborhood in Ward 8 growing up. And I grew up in a time when the homicide rate was even higher than what it is now, even higher than what it's been in the past 20 years. It was crazy in the early to mid 90s. I mean, you talking about 1990, it was, I got the numbers here. Bear with me one second. It was, this was terror. Actually, I made it more general. So, of course, that was during when DC was considered the murder cap. Between 1990 and 1997, there were at least 300 homicides per year. Between 1990 and 1993, there were at least 400 per year. Now you gotta understand something. For me as a child at that time, 1990, that was a time, that summer, and I don't tell a lot of people this, that summer was a summer where I dealt with the thought of death and dying a lot. And I am pretty sure that the homicide rate being as high as it was in 1990 fueled that. Because I want to say it was 452 homicides in 1990. The very next year, 1991, was the record. 482 homicides in DC. And 92, 93, not that much better. So we were dealing with a different kind of mindset back then, because I mean, you had like the crack era, the fallout from that. You just had a lot of violent crime going on in the city at that time. And my mom didn't really want us going too many places. I mean, we could walk from school. We could take the bus from school. Me going at Lecky Elementary in Southwest at the time. But she didn't really want us going places like, say, Oxen Run Park. It's right on Livingston Road. Right behind Third World. That close to Third World. My mom did not want us going over there. We wanted to go play basketball because we didn't really have a basketball court. Lecky didn't have a basketball court at the time. There was nowhere else that was really that close that we could go play basketball. We had to play football in the street on the concrete because my mom wanted to keep a close watch on us so that we weren't in the line of fire. And so she wanted to protect us. And the fact that she had to do that, I mean, it speaks volumes to the culture. It speaks volumes to the history of violence that we've had in DC, that we've had in the black community. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely don't want to make this a thing about black on black crime because I honestly, frankly, I hate that terminology. I hate that terminology because it suggests that no other race deals with intraracial violence. Like black people are the only ones who deal with it, or we're the worst. Now, percentage-wise, compared to the other races, we are slightly higher. But the whole black on black crime thing, I really feel like that's more of a thing of the media, and we kind of fed into it. But still, in our community, we have to check our own. You know what I'm saying? We have to value each other's lives. It is much different in the black community because in a lot of ways we manifest to each other that we don't value each other's lives. We don't value, a lot of us don't value our own lives. So why would we value each other's lives? And because we've been told so many things from slavery, from Jim Crow, from post-Reconstruction, all of those things. We've been told so many different things about ourselves that a lot of us have believed that we've internalized those lies. And so because we don't see the value in ourselves, we're not necessarily going to see the value in each other. And that's the disheartening thing about the violence that goes on, especially the youth. Like a lot of these youth feel hopeless for so many different reasons. They feel hopeless. They feel lost. They feel like nobody cares about them. Nobody's invested in them. No matter how many recreation centers you build that build up the community, no matter how many schools you refurbish, you rebuild and make better than what they were, if you don't rebuild the mindset of the people who are living in those communities, then the buildings are just that. They're just buildings. They're pretty structures. But the people who live in and around those structures might not see the value in those things being put there for them because they don't see the value in themselves. And that's the issue that we face in our community. And I think that's, for me, that's why I do want to bring it to our community. Even though, again, I don't subscribe to the whole black on black crime campaign. I don't subscribe to that. But I do subscribe to us loving ourselves better, us protecting ourselves better, us getting back to the village, and the village protecting one another, the village protecting our youth. Because that's the disheartening thing, that a young girl had to die. And even though somebody like Alexander Mosby was older, he was closer to my age. The fact is, you have either youth that are getting killed or people who are actually trying to do something in the community being killed. And we have to get into, instead of staying stuck in a history of violence, we have to start speaking the language of love. And it sounds hokey. It sounds, and I mean, it's honestly difficult because it's like, how do you break these cycles, break these chains? It's a very difficult thing to do, but it's necessary if we're going to stop seeing these things happen. I'm tired of the teddy bear memorials. I'm tired of seeing them. I'm tired of hearing about these issues happening to kids, to teens, to anybody. but specifically people who haven't even gotten to live their lives yet. You know, so I guess that's really all I have to say about that whole situation. It's just tragic, and it's becoming a broken record. It's been a broken record. Clearly, it's been a broken record since I've been a kid. And I thank God that I'm alive to be able to talk about this, because I could have died. I've lived places where you hear gunshots right behind where you live. You hear the ghetto bird flying over because they try and look for somebody. You deal with that culture. You deal with that for so long. If you're not in the right mindset, it programs you and it turns you into a monster, or it desensitizes you from certain things. And we shouldn't be like that. It should never be like that. No kids, no person should ever have to live in what is essentially a war zone. Ever. It's cruel. And this is what I wanted to say earlier. People who operate like that, they're not gangster. They're terrorists. When you go around shooting in the way that you shoot, with wanton disregard of who's standing around, you're a terrorist. And I don't subscribe to that, and I don't support that, and that's not gangster to me. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it alone. And y'all can tell I'm getting a little passionate about it, because again, I lived through it, I survived it, but it's sad when other people do not. But we're gonna go ahead and get back into the music. One of the moments y'all been waiting for right now.
All the fire engines in the world can't put out this inferno. It's the bars, 5 alarm blaze countdown. Only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app. Powered by GoWin.media. Number 5.
It's not much more I can say. Lady, it's those things that won't keep me away. These feelings just won't subside. Keep you right by my side. Let me know if you're down for me. I wanna talk about me and you. How do you feel about me and you already know. You know what it is. Can we talk about me and you? I wanna talk about me and you. I wanna talk about me and you. I can see it in your eyes, wondering if you gon' find me and you. All up on your mind, but what I'm trying to figure out, what this love is all about. And I think that you're the one for me, for me. I wanna talk about me and you. How do you feel about me? Talk about me and you. I wanna talk about me and you. Yeah. Release that stress when you exhale. I know you probably wondering what's coming next. Well, oh yeah, I'm sure you can guess. Just continue to get undressed. She put value in self-respect versus shoddy. I am impressed. Oh yeah. To be honest, I don't get too much involved if it ain't a check. But you obviously got something about you that's more than sex. I guess we connect. I'm the plug and you the outlet. Got that sparkle, we together. It's special when I get you wet. Yeah. Oh yeah. Champagne dreams are not what they seem. Champagne dreams are not what they seem. Money, jewelry, finer things. I still choose you. Champagne dreams are not what they seem. Cause me and you. Money, jewelry, finer things. I still choose you.
Some say honesty is the best policy. But shit, back then I wasn't focused on anyone but myself. Didn't matter. Family, friends, girlfriends. If I didn't benefit from it, then it did me no good. Indeed, champagne dreams aren't what they seem. Chose to impress the ones that never really mattered. Neglected your feelings and dared you to leave. You stayed, your love unconditional, despite the verbal abuse. You knew I'd never raise a hand to you. Mama ain't raised no fool, or at least I thought. I foolishly let myself and you go, all in one breath. Everything after that has been a blur.
Number 4.
Feelings first, but now my heart's inside your pockets. I'm having visions of family dinners and Christmas stockings. I just went with the flow, but your motions are so hypnotic. You've been running through my mind, my thoughts been racing, trying to stop this. And all these drugs have been antibiotics for the wounds from women I cut, cause it got chaotic. I was obnoxious to think your mind weren't turn me psychotic. I could've been an alcoholic, but you've been the remedy with positive energy to turn on my frenemies to ghosts. Now they just dead to me. I don't wish death on any, but I do know that you envy me, cause she shares my energy and truly wants to enter me. Girl, you are amazing, and you've truly been a friend to me. You found a place inside my heart, so no matter where I travel, you and I won't be apart.
I get this feeling, I can't fight if I wanted to. Do you get these feelings too? Cause I'm wanting you, I'm wanting you. I get this feeling, I can't fight if I wanted to. Do you get these feelings too? I hope you do, I'm wanting you.
To me, your beauty's unmatched. To me, the mother girls just don't stand a chance. I'm gonna need like 4 kisses before you leave, even if you coming back. But you're not going too far, cause I just hit you from the back. Ever since the day we met, you have lifted all my stress. And when I am too sore, you glue your mattress to my chest. Then you rub it out, so I don't have to thug it out. Blunt inside my mouth, we lay on top of the clouds. Your support has been perfection. Entering your life for me has truly been a blessing. Not keeping you around will be like me turning down heaven. You shield the blows that life throws, my weapon for protection. A love larger than Texas. Come through, let's connect, and then let's further that connection. Girl, I won't take you for granted. You're my only one with 7 billion on this planet.
I get this feeling, I can't fight if I wanted to. Do you get these feelings too? Cause I'm wanting you, I'm wanting you. I get this feeling, I can't fight if I wanted to. Do you get these feelings too? I hope you do, cause I'm wanting you.
The red light, the red light, the red light, kisses at the red light, the red light, meet me at the red light, the red light, kisses at the red light. Girl, you're shining brighter than 1,000 pairs of headlights. Keep you around in my dark times, you shed light. You're too addicting, I don't mind it, but the feds might. We could kick it any day, we could lay up every night.
I get this feeling, I can't fight if I wanted to. Do you get these feelings too? Cause I'm wanting you, I'm wanting you. I get this feeling, I can't fight if I wanted to. Do you get these feelings too? I hope you do, I'm wanting you.
Number 3.
Myself that I can do it all alone. Where you go, there you go, here you go, now we go. You're the only one that could ever handle me. They say that I'm a lot of new. You say that I'm unique. You say that I'm just right. I'm hoping it be like this all the time. I said I'm hoping it be like this all the time. Found my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I found you. Found my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Found you, damn it, had my Gina all the time. You got me hoping that it be like this forever, forever, forever. Damn, I had my Gina all alone. Kicked out enough BAMs, curved game strong, but I couldn't lift you up my heart. Cause you make me weak sometimes. I run away, don't want my heart to be breached. Full circle like a full moon. This wolf house for you. Full circle like a full moon. This wolf house for you. Forever. Found my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I found you. Found my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I found you. Damn, I had my Gina all the time. You got me hoping that it be like this forever, forever, forever. I'm hoping it be like this all the time. I said I'm hoping it be like this all the time. Found my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I found you. Found my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I found you. Damn, I had my Gina all the time. You got me hoping that it be like this forever, forever, forever.
Number 2.
So good. J-Heat. Hustle every anything. Flex on flex on flex. Yes. Flex on flex on flex. Flex on flex on flex. When I flex, I flex the best, the best. When I flex on flex on flex. Yes. They can't do it like me. Can't with a G. When I flex, we flex the best, the best. When I flex on flex on flex. Yes. They can't do it like me. Can't with J-Heat. Okay, I be drippin' swag, boy, that's flex on top of flex. We drippin'. Get cash, boy, that's checks on top of checks. Keep spending. Dropping hits, yo, yeah, the next after the next. Keep winning. Like Khaled that said, yo, we the best out of the best. Okay, I've been on flex. Wrist game flex. Whip game flex. Okay, riding with your chick, got your bitch on flex, and we blowing on that gas. Got a zip on deck like flex. That's that flexation. Take a vacation. That's that flexcation. When they flex Nathan, that's when they flex hating. But if they wanna flex, no, I keep that flex waiting. I flex the best. When I flex, flex, yes. They can't do it like me. Can't with a G. When I flex, we flex the best. When I flex, flex, yes. They can't do it like me. Can't with J Heat. This that water flow. Calling plays, I got that. Audible. When I'm not around, she listen to me on the audio. Cause I got game, more game than a carnival. You ain't got no game, yo, this old, you a dinosaur. Just wanna bring that beef, I eat it like a carnival. Anyone can get it, any, meeny, miny, mo. I'ma come out swinging like Geronimo. Who the f is trying to go? Tell your bitch it's time to go. Took her from that party, now it's time to get that private show. She sick of all you lames, she use me as the antidote. Finna kill that, put this bullet in her panty. She looking like a star, so I had to make a cameo. Booty so round, yeah, I call that day that merry-go. We be getting money, we be stunting everywhere we go. When I ride by, they like, oh, when they go. I flex the best. When I flex, flex, yes. They can't do it like me. Can't with a G. When I flex, we flex the best. When I flex, flex, yes. They can't do it like me. Can't with J Heat. We flexin'. Flex, yes. Flex. We flexin'.
Number 1.
Thought that it would break me, take me off my course. Fell, picked it up, realigned with the source. Back on the horse like a diver. I'm a survivor, victor, picture perfect. Work it till it short circuits. Think it, speak it, claim it, secret. Ain't it's ancient, cadence, murder, fragrance. Ultraviolet, how I speak when I'm silent. Through my aura, borealis aurora. It's in the bloodline, liquid sunshine, the heart. Know it and I'm doing my part. Sometimes it's switching a blink like a glitch in the link of a chain. Stay off it, before I lose I'm a forfeit. No bowing to the corporate, the devil's in the pulpit. Applaud this, flawless, spit gorgeous. Justice for the lawless, that real rawness.
Unbreakable, can't block the flow. Take my soul, oh, no. Unbreakable, can't block the flow. Won't take my soul, oh, no.
You talk reckless, but softer than a pearl necklace. We out of balance, let's correct it. Stay connected, we resurrect bliss. Then over on the next mission, the womb must be protected and respected. Ashe, no more victim, that's the mission. Deal with truth every day. Gotta make it over, that's the only way. Go against the grain, work through the pain to get joy. Something to hold on, Myrna Lloyd. Survival of the fit, we intent, brethren. 7 steps to heaven, wafers unleavened, communion with the interstellar. Ginger leather, shooting dice with Christ, looking for my Cinderella. Dana Dane flow, plain Jane no. Punky Brewster with the colorful mainframe glow. Life been bananas, welfare and tannin. Regardless, cry freedom if you really want this.
Unbreakable, can't block the flow. Take my soul, oh, no. Unbreakable, can't block the flow. Won't take my soul, oh, no.
Think about the timing while you planning and designing. Strong under pressure, morphed into a diamond. Shining brighter than some Twinkies on a hog. Grinding, creeping through and seeping like a fog. Something inside of me guiding me,
keeps reminding me to rewind and see. No following blindly, the worst is behind me. Every cell of my being responding to freedom. That's where it starts first, feeling DNA burst like a climax all through your body. Such a rush, type fast lane and Maseratis. Kept my guard up in case they wanna start stuff. Life it'll call bluffs even if you're all tough. Knock your block off, trying to get your rocks off. Turntables, cause we able to win. Unshakable, we rooted firm, breaking them in. Breaking them in, breaking them in. Unbreakable, can't block the flow. Won't take my soul. Oh, oh, no, no. Unbreakable, can't block the flow. Won't take my soul. Oh, oh,
Welcome back to the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Yeah. That closed out the 5 Alarm Blaze countdown for the month of July. That was Star out of Atlanta. Shout out to Atlanta. Featuring Pootie the Biz, I think that's her name. Unbreakable coming in at number 1. At number 2, we had the homie Jay Heat with Flex. Number 3, we had Amani Philly with Forever. Coming in at number 4, we had Jerry Holmes. Man, that dude rallied some support. Featuring Talia. I hate mispronouncing people's names. Wanting You. And at number 5, we had the homie D Bell featuring Mo Thorough. Taraji, Champagne Dreams. So shout out to everybody who made the final cut. Shout out to everybody, even the ones who didn't make the final cut but who qualified. A lot of those people, they just, the people love their songs. So shout out the homie Low Views, Louis Bags Music. Shout out CW Allen. Shout out Ro B and Jamel Mr. City. Who else qualified? I want to make sure I shout out everybody who qualified for the countdown. Shout out to Drea Renee, who we had here last week. And shout out to Don B, the artist, who was the defending artsonist of the month. Gotta call it an artsonist since, people are artsy. You see the play on words. Anyway, shout out to everybody who qualified. Shout out to everybody who got the people who voted, who participated, and who got the top 5 in the top 5. So always a shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody who is watching right now on Facebook Live, still hanging with us. We got another about 10 minutes left in the show. So shout out to them. Hold on one second. I'm just trying to make sure I shout out everybody. Shout out homie Adriel, Fast from Southwest. You know what I'm saying? What's up, bro? Appreciate you checking us out. Shout out to homie Tone Butter. Tone Butter will be here next Wednesday, August 1st. We'll be interviewing him. And also, we're going to be closing out the show with a little bit of stuff from him in a few minutes. But I definitely want to shout out everybody who was watching on the live. Shout out Tiffany. I seen you watching. Shout out my cousin Janan. I seen you watching too. Shout out Neem from Let's Be Clear. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out Tayo from Talk with Tayo on right here, WinDCRadio.com every Tuesday, 2 to 4 p.m. Talking about a lot of things dealing with finance, entrepreneurship, insurance, so many different things she talks about. And she plays a lot of good music on her show. So definitely got to shout her out. Also, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right here on WinDCRadio.com and GoGo Radio Live, gotta shout out the Go Win Radio Show, the big homie Nico, the Go-Goologist, and Miss Lady, here every Tuesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on WinDCRadio.com and GoGo Radio Live. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's just been throwing so much support. And we're not going to kill too much more time because we got a few things we got to do before we close. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's see what's happening on the Bars Community Calendar.
So, this Saturday, July 28th, right here in the shops at Iverson, lower level, 3701 Branch Avenue, Hillcrest Heights, Maryland. The Possibilities Ministry at Community of Hope AME Church will be hosting the Capital Summit Expo from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Registration and continental breakfast at 9:30 a.m. Lunch at noon. It's a networking event for potential and existing entrepreneurs to connect with local private investors, government and lending institutions to bring ideas and projects to fruition while potentially maximizing investors' portfolios. There will be $1,000 worth of services to help start up your business, and that will be awarded for the person who has the best elevator pitch. For more info, please register at www.thecapitalsummit.com. Once again, that's www.thecapitalsummit.com. Also, coming up here in the shops at Iverson, next to Community Hope AME Church, we have Integrity Enterprise will be doing their pop-up shop fundraiser. And that'll be the following Saturday, August 4th, 12 to 5 p.m. Vendor setup begins at 11 a.m. And their fundraiser will be providing a platform for first-time business owners and those who simply want to enlarge their territories and brands. Also, they will be implementing awareness of domestic abuse, mental substance awareness, human sex trafficking, and ending youth homelessness in the entire DMV. The cost is a $50 flat fee for entrepreneurs interested in showcasing their work and vending to support the cause. Vendors can RSVP at integritypopupshop.eventbrite.com. Once again, that's integritypopupshop.eventbrite.com, or call Mrs. Nicole Tucker at 301-204-0781. Also on Saturday, many events going on next Saturday, Saturday, August 4th. The town of Forest Heights, Maryland will be hosting their Taste of Forest Heights Community Day Festival. This will be taking place at 5800 Terrell Avenue in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Special guests, Aaron D. Spears, music by DJ Phil. Be having games, kids activities, food, vendor, and entertainment by Layla Capri, Savannah, Shemaine, Wild Boy Ra, Faces You Know, Rockstar, Six System Music Band, Ari DeVee, and friend of the show and who you heard earlier in the show, Miss Tia Day. The cost is absolutely free. And the last event we're going to announce on Friday, August 10th from 8 p.m. to midnight. You heard us announce this last week. The Aliens will be hosting their first Manifest Social Networking event, hosted by MC Taz Badass, music by DJ Soulfly. And that will be happening at the Alien headquarters, located at 3902 Canterbury Way in Temple Hills, Maryland. And this event will be to awaken the inspiration of DMV artists, music artists, musicians, wardrobe stylists, hairstylists, makeup artists, tattoo artists, etc., to advance the goals and dreams as young entrepreneurs. Food, vendors, edibles, and music, including a performance by the homie Low Views. Shout out once again to Low Views. The cost is $10 for early aliens, $15 for general admission. For more info, email Sharonda Parks 830. Her first name is spelled SHERONDA Parks PARKS 830 @gmail.com. And so, as promised, we are going to close out with this right here.
Words of wisdom to get you through the rest of your week. These are the bars for life.
And so I had a totally different quote planned out. I feel like this guy is never going to get his quote read because I always get something better. And not to say that his quote isn't good, but today, considering the conversation we had, I felt like this quote was appropriate. So the homie Tone Butter, he hit me up on Messenger, and I ain't forget, babe. I'm gonna read it. Don't worry about it. The homie Tone Butter, he sent me a message, and he said, people have to realize that our communities and families need to be covered with prayer every day because the devil is after the lives of the youth. The devil knows that the best way to stop any of the young ones from growing into powerful leaders, especially powerful leaders for God, is to kill them before they grow. Genocide is the most effective when you execute the younger generation. Any way to permanently eliminate anything is to kill at the root. And unfortunately, that's true, because the devil, if we're speaking from a spiritual standpoint, the devil works through so many different facets, whether you're talking about laws, whether you're talking about systematic racism, no matter what it is, he's working through these many ways to really attack our youth. And it's frustrating, but that quote really speaks to how we have to attack this problem, or one of the ways in which we must attack this problem, and that is spiritually. Now, granted, I always say that you have to pray, but you also have to act. There are certain things that you have to do in order to enact that prayer. And so I thank the homie Tone Butter for definitely passing on that wisdom, passing on that message. And those are the bars for life. And those are definitely appropriate bars for life, considering the conversation that we had earlier. Before we close, gotta read the results of the poll. The poll being about the DeMar DeRozan, Kawhi Leonard trade. Who will benefit? Which team will benefit more from it? And it was actually a split between the two teams. 50% of people voted for the Raptors. 50% of people voted for the Spurs. I am in the 50% actually that feel like the Raptors will benefit more this year, but the Spurs will benefit more over time, because I feel like the Raptors will be a better team in the East this year than the Spurs. The Spurs have to compete with so many teams out West. But over time, I think that will be a good pick for them, and Toronto probably won't even be in the conversation after Kawhi Leonard leaves. So I thank everybody who voted in the poll, who commented on Instagram, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in, who watched on Facebook Live. Remember, we are here every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and we are the official Hump Day motivation for the DMV and beyond. Got to close with the homie Tone Butter. This is Get Your Soul Saved. We'll see y'all next week, where we will have Tone Butter in studio live. And, you know what I'm saying? Y'all have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see y'all next Wednesday. Peace, y'all.